Seka.
Whoa, my guy, just woke up, got coffee. What's up? What can I do for you, fam?
I want to know who's worth maxing as an SSR unit. Your SSR coin video was like super helpful, but I need to know SSR coins now because I did a lot of pulling and I have a lot of duplicate coins.
All right, I'm gonna do that eventually. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna make that video. Don't worry.
Yeah, I need it right now.
Oh! Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. For this, we're doing SSR units that are worth maxing with their duplicate coins, and give you an idea which ones are going to be very worth maxing for their ultimates only. Again, this is only for their ultimates and whether you should use their coins to max their ultimates or not. So, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so for this video, we're going to be going over each of the We're going to be doing this in a very similar version to my SR coin video, where we're talking about SR units that are worth maxing. Link to that up there, hopefully I'm smart. And if you do want to learn more about SSR units that are worth maxing, as far as just their ultimates again, this is the video that is going over just ultimates. Again, we're not ranking units, talking about units versus each other, just telling you about units that are worth maxing their ultimates. And we're doing this for both free-to-play and budget players. If you're a big whalin', this is much different, and of course you're maxing everything. But as far as who should you do first, this will help you get a starting point on, hey, I don't really care about these units at all, or versus these units are great. And hopefully this will be a good reference point if you're big whalin'. If you're not big whalin' and you are just a more budget or free-to-play player, then this will be very helpful for you. Okay, again, this is not a tier list video. I made the same claim during the SR coin video. This is not a tier list video. This is strictly the visual format that we are using to get us the information we require in order to give you the best possible information. Let's go ahead and use the SSR coins. We're taking the tiers out of the video. You don't even get to see them anymore. Going into the units, of course, we're gonna go very quickly through the bottom tiers. The answer for everybody in the D tier, including Red Gila, is no. Do not max any of these units' ultimates. It is very quick. None of these units have an ultimate worth maxing. Blue Fat King has a fake combination synergy or a combo class synergy with Green Elizabeth, but hella not worth maxing. Hendrickson, however, does have some interesting links in the future, and he's kind of an asterisk. He's probably, which is really funny, the only one that would be considered, but there is an SR version of him, so that's a no. Then we got Gila, we have Griamore, Elaine, and Green Bond. All of these characters are do not max their ultimates, not worth. Next up, we have, moving up a little here, we have Blue Gowther. This is a hard no, do not max his ultimate. It is not worth the effort. Red Gowther is a better unit and used way more often. We have Red SSR Gilthunder. This one's also going to be a no. I would say Gilthunder is not really worth doing just because Gilthunder isn't a needed unit for a lot of different combo class characters. And it is a combo class with Gila, and then does have links with Hauser and Griamore. There is a green Gilthunder you are going to be maxing. So I would say since you're going to be maxing out SR Gilthunder, since everybody right now that up to this point who I've mentioned is somebody that you're going to be maxing an SR version of or just not even worth it all, I'd say to stay away from those characters. Next up, we have Green SSR Elizabeth. Fuck no! I hate this bitch. Get her out my box. I love her, but you know. I pulled 19 of her. I've never maxed her ultimate once. There's no reason to. You can still get max heals with attack defense gear without any ulti-max at all. So there's no reason to, you don't get anything out of it. There is some characters that do use Elizabeth as a combo class unit. However, SR Elizabeth does the exact same job as any green Elizabeth. So this is a no because SR Elizabeth is much more budget and way more worth. Then we got Deanne as well as other Deanne. So Kung Fu Deanne and Matrona Deanne are kind of an asterisk. With Kung Fu Deanne and Matrona Deanne, the answer is kind of. And the reason it's kind of is because the combo class unit or the fake combination unit for these two units is Blue King. On the Japanese version, there is one more addition to this character tree, and that is Green Matrona Deanne, and that is definitely the most valuable of any of the Matrona Deannes. However, with all these Matrona Deannes, the two that are the most easily accessible because they are on part 1 of the SSR tickets are going to be the blue and red versions. So if you do end up pulling 4 or 5 of one of them, then I would definitely recommend maxing one of them, not both of them. By the way, at the start of the game though, 50-50. It is totally up to you if you want to max them early or if you max them later. It really depends on your level of pay to play as well as how hard you're pulling. But for most free to play players and budget players, those coins that you're going to be using are more valuable toward other units. But if you do have 3, 4, 5 of them and the dupe coins just lying around, then yeah, I would kind of consider maxing out a Matronity Ant just so that you have a combo class unit with King, because that really boosts his viability through the roof. And last part about this, only do this if you're going to be using King in PvP. If you're using King in PvE, however, this is not a smart play. This is only if you use King in PvP. Next up, we have Blue Bond. And Blue SSR Bond is a long-term yes, short-term no. So long-term, this is actually an okay unit to max. Once you start getting most of your coin units maxed in the game, probably about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the road, sure, this is okay to do. The reason this is okay to do is because he, for Hell Red, is actually one of the top DPS, if not the top DPS. I'd say the only one that's better, or even close to better, is the Blue SSR Arthur that came out to Japan just recently. For overall DPS, I think that would be the only one worth maxing. But the problem with Bond is that his associations are really weak. So what he gives as an association is he gives regeneration, which is trash. And then his combo class is, of course, King, but when he gives us a link is really bad. So this is probably a no, like a 95% no, and then maybe later in the game if you have a lot of resources, sure, but most people no. Next up, we have Blue SSR Slater. The reason I'm gonna say no here is because unless you are just all big PP flex character and all you care about is flexing the max damage you can do on Red Demon, the answer is a big fat fucking no. Slayer is replaced in every part of the game at some point, and there is no reason to even max out a Slayer. I think I've seen Slayer be useful like 2 times in all of the game's history through story mode, and it wasn't even a big deal. He's not really useful for any raid bosses, anything else besides Red Demon. In Hell Red Demon, he's not even the best DPS in the game anymore. Like Blue SR Meliodas is probably on par with the same level of damage that he does. When Blue SR Meliodas does get a triple attack off, it does more than both of Slater's attacks combined, which is like, the reason they does more is because it's about 825% attack versus Slater bopping out like 400%. But it's effective damage versus actual damage. So as far as big PP damage goes, Slater is about the same as an SR Meliodas, which is really annoying. My answer here is no, unless you're really all about the big PP life and you just wanna see big crits on Final Boss Red Demon. And it's not even the best DPS in the game for Red Demon. The reason this is a no is because there is a Red Slater that is in the game, and Red Slater is a very viable unit in both PvP and PvE. If you haven't tried out Red Slater in PvP yet, it's pretty toxic. Check it out. It's pretty toxic. All right, next up we have Blue and Red Merlin. Both of these are no. The reason both of these are no is because there actually is a green Merlin that is way more valuable to max out. Her ultimate is really easy to max out as she's a coin shop unit. The dupes are acquirable through coin shop, and when it comes through rotation, you can just buy it week after week if you want to with duplicate coins. Now, the Red Merlin, however, is a viable PvP unit right now, but does fall off pretty heavily as time goes on. There's one set of content where this unit does thrive with a max ultimate, and that content is Final Boss Meliodas. And this unit is actually a key unit in getting the top 100 scores. So if you're Big Whalen, it's a yes. But if you're not Big Whalen, this is a no. We're talking Big Whalen, by the way. Big Whalen. Next we have Green Meliodas. Hard skip. SR Meliodas, you've already maxed out. He's got him to 65 already with 3 stars. This is a do not max this unit's ultimate. It's super not worth. He is only useful in Final Boss King, and even then he's kind of an RNG character to bring. One of the things that wasn't in the game initially, Final Boss King, was that using Jericho was kind of an impossibility on the original release of Final Boss King, and then they actually changed him, so now Jericho is actually a viable unit on Final Boss King. Meliodas Ultimate is really not going to help you nearly as much as Jericho Ultimate. Jericho is much easier to max out. So that's why I'm going to say no for him. Next up, we have Green Skinny King. This one is an asterisk, okay? You could do this. If you have 4 or 5 duplicates of this unit, yes, do it. 100%. No fucking doubt. Just do it right the fuck now. Well, that means that you can actually 70 this unit and 6-star this unit and then use this as a fake combination or combo attack unit with Red Gother. And because they link very well together, you don't have to use Blue King. And since Blue King and Green King have very similar substats and stats, it doesn't matter. The only thing that Green King has less of than Blue King is some substats. But overall, what's really important when you're using a the unit that you're linking with has good base stats. Substats of the unit don't really matter, that's translating up. So Green King is a fine replacement for Blue King if you don't want to spend the duplicate coins for Blue. Now Green King does of course come to the coin shop a few different times in order for you to pick up some dupes of him, but typically you're going to pick him up on part 1 of the SSR gacha, and that makes him a much easier to obtain unit. So should you do this one? Only if you have like 4 or 5 duplicates of him, like between 3 and 4 duplicates right now, or even 5 duplicates flying around for this Green King. That would be worth doing. Next up we have Green Hellbrum, and Green Hellbrum is a no. Green Hellbrum's ulti is very valuable for Hell Red Demon when he does get maxed ultimate, but that's about the limit to his viability, and I really wouldn't say he's going to be too much value after that. So Gallant and Blue Lizhawk have pretty much the same viability in overall content going forward. And Lizhawk is a much more valuable unit in raid content because of her passive and because she's not a demon. No cap, it's because she's not a demon. So just know that Blue Lizhawk has much more value for PvE content, and if you didn't know, she is a top 20 PvP team right now on globals with Gallant. There are combinations that they have basically the same attack skill for their first attack skill. Just know that they are very similar units. As far as units worth maxing, I would say no. I'm doing this right now as a meme because I love Blue Lizhawk, and I'm just doing it because I wanted to see how she performs in certain PvP comps. Unless you're gonna be using either of these units for PvP very consistently going forward, the answer is no. Blue Gallant is a definite only if you're doing top 100 PvP, only if you're gonna be pushing PvP in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Gallant falls off very quickly. The majority of players really shouldn't be focusing on him. Next up, we have Blue SSR Coin Shop Deanne. Now, only if you're going to use her in PvP. This is only a max out if you're using in PvP. To be honest, buying coins for this character, I would only do if she is your bae or your waifu for laifu, and only if you're using her in PvP and you're never going to switch out. Thur and King, in my opinion, are way more valuable to max out than Deanne as far as a coin shop unit. Next up, we have Nunchuck Bond. No. Fuck no. This is a definite fuck no. Nope. Nuh-uh. Not in a million years. Nope. Next up, we have Green Merlin. 100% yes. This is a 100% yes. If you can pick up her duplicates, or you picked up her duplicates, the answer is yes, 100%. Don't miss out. An amazing combo class unit for Demon Meliodases as well as Escanors. So fuck yes. This is a definite fuck yes. Demon Meliodas, 50-50. Short term, the answer for this unit is no. Long term, the answer is yes. Definitely pick up some long-term Demon Meliodas duplicates. On his banner, I wouldn't be pulling for duplicates or even pulling at all. I would actually be skipping his banner. As far as his ultimate level goes, if you're big Huilin, the answer is yes. It's really good to do. And the reason it's good to do is because he actually is a very good association unit with a lot of demons going forward. When they get their associations, he actually links to a ton of different units, and he's a very good linking character later on. Should you do it as a free-to-play unit? No. This is a big 50-50. You're wanting to do this early. You're sacrificing one of the big 3, and I'll go over the big 3 in a minute. Next up, we have Hauser. He's a good linking unit for a lot of humans, and ultimate is god tier in PvP, so if you're using him in PvP, yes. If you're not using him in PvP, or considering using him as a linking unit, say for Gil Thunder, if you're not using him to get HP as a linking unit, there's not really a huge reason to do this unit. He does have a combined attack with SSR Gil Thunder, but SR Gil Thunder gets HP from it, which is really valuable, giving him the most amount of combat class. As a link, this is a very valuable link for just SR Gil Thunder. This is probably his best link, and the other one that would be better than this for SR Gil Thunder would be a green SSR Gila. Yes, if you're doing it in PvP, no if you're not. The big 5 here. These are the biggest 5 units right now in the game. Everybody's using these units in some shape or form if they have them. First up, we got Arthur. This is a 50-50. There is a blue SR Arthur in the game right now, and blue SR Arthur is just as valuable as a link as a 5 of 6 ultimate SSR Arthur. So unless you're going to be pushing your SSR Arthur to 5 of 6 ultimate like that, the answer is no. But if you are really wanting to work on your SSR Arthur because you really like him and he's your favorite unit right now and you love him, you're using PvP every week, you're using him all the time, and you can't stop using this unit, then yeah, you can max his ulti. But there is an SR Arthur, guys. SSR Arthur, I would only really do if you're using him in PvP. If you're not using a character in PvP, typically the answer is no. I currently am maxing mine on global. So to give you some reference, I've maxed mine on JP, but I waited a long time to max mine on JP. I didn't max it right away. Next up, we have Nunchuck Bond. Hard skip. Hard fucking skip. Unless you're going to go for top 100 PvP and using Bond on top 100 PvP, the answer is no. There is literally no reason to max this unit's ultimate unless you're doing this for PvP. It has no viability in farming content or AoE content going forward. The only reason to max this unit's ultimate is PvP. And personally, he has the worst... I bet my opinion is he has the worst scaling ultimate of any of these other characters' ultimates. So this is a hard pass for me. Thur, 100% yes. No question. Red Thur, one of the best ultimates to max in the entire game. Use Thur too often for him not to be maxed as an ultimate character. He also links with Merlin and Escanor, so if you do want to use him for a Pierce unit for Merlin or Escanor, that's a very good unit. He's also a great unit to use in a green Escanor meta as a sub for your green Escanor, so super good there. And then you can actually use Merlin as a sub for your Demon Meliodas. So the combo class unit for Demon Meliodas, by the way, again, is Merlin, so please, yes on the Thur. Jericho, 100% yes. I don't care if you're not doing the guild boss seriously, you're waiting for Derriere or whatever. The answer is yes. Do Jericho. She's definitely worth it. Jericho has a lot of different uses as a support. There is an SR Jericho and an SSR SR Jericho, both red and blue versions. I've maxed those units, and I'm starting to work on my green SSR Jericho. What's really nice about Jericho is that you can use Jericho as a support unit for one of your units, and then you can use another Jericho as another support unit. And Jericho has some of the highest attack values in the game, so the reason to max this unit's ultimate is not just because she's really good for guild boss. She's a great unit for... She's a medium unit for Grey Demon, and she's also an insane unit for Red Demon, surprisingly enough, which is really funny. She's really viable in all areas of the game, and she's still really good in gearless PvP. If I was to rate her as a unit, she's probably one of the top units in the game currently still, but will fall off pretty quickly as far as PvP viability goes. As far as PvE viability goes, she stays pretty relevant all throughout all content until Red Derriere comes in. And at that point, you know, you cannot compete with the person that has the highest possible damage in the game. I mean, that's many months away, and this is still good. Even after that comes, this unit is still an amazing unit to build out just specifically for the ultimate, so that you can have two of those ultimates on the same team. And since SR Jerichos are units that you want to use for your mono red and mono blue teams in order to get them a 10% attack skills buff, using an SSR Jericho is actually really valuable, because now you can use the SR Jericho as a support unit or the sub unit, and you can actually use the green Jericho as a linking or association unit with whoever you want on the field to get yourself two Jerichos. That's actually a huge valuable thing. So this is a definite yes. Blue King. This is only if he is in your PvP comp, yes. If you are using this character in PvP every single week, and this is going to be your character that you really want to build out long-term and short-term, the answer is yes. He stays good in PvP. He's still good in PvP right now in JP, yes. However, in my opinion, both Thur and Merlin are a bigger priority than King. On JP, when I was doing this, I actually went for Thur and Merlin dupes way before I even touched Blue King. I only really actually maxed my Blue King very, very recently. And that's because I wanted to focus on units that had better association, and I'm much more of a budget player on JP than I am on Global. I really didn't have any resources to max out or pull for a Blue King, extra dupes to get a Blue King maxed out. And again, I'm only using, if we're being honest, this took me months to do because I was using 5 coins at a time on the rotations. So this does take a lot of resources. If you're going to be maxing any of these units' ultimates, by the way, it's 35 total dupe coins that you're going to need per unit if you're maxing them out of rotation, and only 25 if you're maxing them in rotation. So just know that it's going to save you a lot of resources if you are going to be maxing them while the units are in rotation. Wow. All right, guys, my name's Sekapoko here. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, let me know what your thoughts are on some of these units in the comment section down below. If you want to follow the YouTube channel, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thank you, Goohex, for doing the next part for me. Subscribe, notify, all that stuff. Have a great day, guys. Peace.